hold with his jacks, bowing out in 7th. We'll obviously update you guys more to give you a little recap on how this final table played out. But for now, the fan favorite, you might add, given the amount of fans that have been involved in the chat, rooting for the local player. First ever Triton series, a regular at the VSOP in Hanoi.
Well, they're playing for $500,000 right now in his heads-up match. Or $500,000.
Casual.
Yeah, casual.
Is it Monday, Tuesday morning now, local time? What else are you going to do?
Play poker, I suppose. Deuce 5 suited. It is an open raise from Đào Minh, and it is a 3-bet first hand. Deuce 5 suited, little cards.
Sending a message, Randy. Like, hey, pal, you want to open your button? I'm happy to come back firing.
That sends a message right away. I wonder if Đào Minh Phú will react in a potentially more passive pre-flop play in the form of a limp.
Both players with an entourage on the rail, although with the delay. Feedback not going to be looped back for at least 45 minutes.
So we gotta see a different approach for Biao Ding's button with a limp, and it's a jam with Đào Minh Phú 9-8 suited for 21 blinds. This could be over quick. I mean, look, first hand 3-bet 5 deuce suited. Third hand jam all in 20 blinds 9-8 suited. Not even looking at the big cards right now. And it's now ace-queen for Đào Minh Phú. Now he does remember he raised the first hand, got 3-bet. And he's mixing it up now with a limp. There is some leveling going on here.
There's all sorts of shenanigans so far on display in this heads-up match. And given what we've seen so far this final table from, you know, both Biao Ding and Đào Minh Phú, doesn't surprise me. See that coming into effect as we head to the ace-queen 5. Ding flopping bottom pair. Đào Minh Phú with a very disguised top 2. Comes out firing, yeah. Single big blind.
That's played. Comfortable call here of bottom pair, backdoor diamonds. Might have the best hand. It is wide ranges when we play heads up. Can't be folding pairs in limp pots.
Backdoor diamonds. Not going to bail out Ding this time. Drawing to just the 5 on this 4 of clubs turn. And going to be playing a bit of a guessing game against Đào Minh Phú. So we can see he has trapped with the ace-queen pre, but some king 10s, king jacks, jack 10s. Also just complete wild card at times.
Well, he's debating what bet size to use. Time card coming in. Holding top 2 makes it less likely your opponent's got those types of cards. Gonna just try to make it look like a bluff. 1.5 million just south. Biao Ding here, just a pair of 5s, very vulnerable. And he's not gonna be sure whether a third barrel will come in One might think he'd be done with the hand, but you might feel that it's strange that Dao is firing so hard into this pot on the ace-high board and a limp pot. So he's going to make another call, thinking that Đào Minh Phú has got a draw a lot of times.
4.9 million out there. 8 of diamonds completing the board. For Đào Minh Phú to close the gap by a considerable margin after coming in to this heads-up match with a 2-1 chip deficit. The local Vietnamese player gonna look to extract more value on this river. See what size he comes with.
Well, he used one time card to decide on the 75% pot bet last straight. Remember, it was limp pre-flop, check, bet, call, turn, check, bet, 75% call. River now reaching for lots of 100K chips, which results in an overbet of 6.3 million.
You know, I was just thinking maybe size down, target the obvious
Right, he's
Queen X, 5X type holdings, given that this was a limped pot. But he's just going for the jugular, Randy.
Yeah, because Biao Ding's range is very non-top pair heavy. Given the check pre-flop after the pre-flop limp. Going to lay it down, and his fans are clapping for him. Đào Minh Phú brought some friends along. Both of these players with some friends railing them deeply, as you know, 1.67 million up top. Not something you can do every day.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Did he just say nice bluff? Was he trying to get in Ding's head there as he closes the gap? 39 bigs, plays 30. Blinds will be going up shortly, by the way, to 250,000, 500,000. But for now, average stack of 35 big blinds. Both players guaranteed 1.135 million for their efforts. Career best score. Event number 6. That's 75K, by the way, attracting a total of 63 entries. We'll be bringing you coverage of that tomorrow, 2 p.m. local time, with late reg still open.
It's safe to say that we're going to get some more entries from this event, from those final table lists, so especially whoever the eventual winner will be. Đào Minh Phú, deuce 4 suited.
5 seconds.
You felt he was about to...
I felt the
I
raise.
know.
I didn't want to say anything because oftentimes I do come out wrong. Connection for Biao Ding. A very good piece, but also a piece that may be hard to extract value from. Little cards. Potentially an 8 or king drops off, your opponent stabs. Checking, definitely a solid choice. 4-liner. Not ideal. Look at this. Almost a nut low going for it.
Little tickle.
It's not a nice spot for Biao Ding, but given the price, quarter pot, betting a third pot, good odds. He's got 2 pair in case he is up against a straight. He's got outs. And there is a straight on the board, Henry. How did Đào Minh Phú find a way
To get out of dodge. may even find a way to win the hand.
It is possible. Reaching for chips.
3 million.
Gangster.
Did he just overbet 3 million? Đào Minh Phú gets called, snap called to chop the pot.
狗逼给我你妈逼分钱了，我2顿。
Doesn't sound happy about it.
Ding calling for a chop, obviously flicking in the 1 chip call.
Gave him the
Some
side
words,
eye.
yeah, some words exchanged
这
with
牌
his
都能给我
rail.
发死。他24发9勾圈我。
Biao Ding was very not happy about that. Nine-6 offsuit on the dealer button. He's shown to be unpredictable so far in its heads-up match. Reach for calling chips. 40 blinds, roughly, just under, for Biao Ding. Queen 7 offsuit. Is he happy to take pots small? He is.
At this point, this stage in the tournament, and I think I'm just going to sit back and enjoy the show.
They are playing.
Given up trying to predict.
I'm not trying to predict.
No, I'm not insinuating that you are. I'm saying I've given up trying to foresee how these hands are going to play out.
Well, Dow's got top pair, going to go for a bet. 500K. Biao Ding now. Just queen high. 7 interacts with the board in the sense that maybe he can get some backdoor straights to come in. Queen high. Tiny bit of showdown value. Just enough to continue. He's going to float here out of position.
See what I mean, Randy?
These two guys are swinging. World-class poker being played right now. Turn is a 4, not the card that Biao Ding was looking for.
Check. Check.
A snap check with top pair. And it gets Biao Ding to hit a pair of 7s. He's going to think this hand is good. He's going to expect a 9 or 8 to bet the turn at some frequency. Definitely not instant check on the safest card in the deck.
See what Ding opts to do after rivering third pair. Some form of blocker bet maybe. I'm going to check it on over to Đào Minh Phú.
That doesn't mean he's not going to call a bet.
Đào Minh Phú, after sneakily checking the 4 of clubs turn with his flop top pair.
Yeah.
Now betting $1 million into 2.2.
This value bet is quite enticing price-wise. The turn check is definitely playing into Biao Ding's mind. Might not expect a 9 to check back so fast, so what is he betting if you don't think he's got a 9, even though he does in this case? It'll be a very impressive laydown, but very, very tough to do. I don't blame him for crying call here. Nicely played. Check earns him another $1 million in chips, and we got a new chip leader here in this short amount of hands and heads up. Đào Minh Phú, the local Vietnamese player.
came in with a 2-1 chip deficit. Has now closed the gap. And in fact, he's taken the chip lead as the blinds have gone up to 250,000, 500,000. 29 bigs. Plays 27.
Oh.
Some garbage. Let's see how Biao Ding wants to play this. Seems content to try to play limp pots right now with Đào Minh Phú. Limp pots are a key part of heads up. They do add up. Aces and tens are good. Wide ranges, paired board. Most of the time, both players will whiff this flop. Let's see if Biao Ding is going to try to value bet against king high, queen high. Going to play it slow. Maybe let his opponent find a way to put in chips poorly. In this case, king drops off, inside straight draw for Dao. But not going to take the bait. There is merit to value betting against a queen or jack X. Check once more. Drop a 5. Flush gets there, but no action on flop or turn. Makes the flush a lot less likely. Now it's 3 checks to Biao Ding. Aces and tens. Might be the time to go for some value. Oh, he's looking around. 3 million is the bet. 3 million. It went check, 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 check. Overbet 3 million. Pair of tens. How mergy is that?
These boys are a fan of Overbet Express, Randy.
The Overbet Express. They're like,
I think they've been subscribed since the start.
Henry will be watching this, so let's do the Overbet Express for him. On more than one occasion by both players. Okay. Understood.
On the overbet on the river does eventually get the fold from just jack high. I can't wait to watch this one back, Randy. We just had the gridlock. We had some of the most ICM heavy implications, 8-handed, 7-handed, with the likes of Patrick Antonius, Dan Smith, Linus, Ben Heath, trying their best to navigate, you know, a willingness of chips being put in by the likes of Biao Ding and Đào Minh Phú. If you think back to 9-handed play, I want to say +1, just open ripping, ace-4 off for 12. There was a lot of money going into the middle, and you can understand why it was an operating table out there for the talents that bowed out before these two gentlemen.
I'll tell you, throughout this final table, these two gentlemen made plays that none of these other pros would have made, and collected extra blinds, being aggressive at the right time, conservative at others, getting away from spots that would have cost them chips. Right now, though, it is heads up. Pair of threes on a 3 overcard board. No connection for Biao Ding. We'll check it through. More connection to the flop, but nothing to their hands. Uncomfortable to stab, as you would be playing a guessing game as to what your opponents might be holding.
Wow. Okay. Here we go. Overbet incoming on this river, Randy.
Your read is Overbet Express again. I know you want to promote the Overbet Express, but don't you think it's a little much? Do you think a third time is happening in this short amount of hands and heads up?
I want to say, yeah, it would be our third or fourth overbet of the day. This time, however, Biao Ding with just 4 high.
I'm not going to try it. Pair of threes is good on this run out. 5 over cards, straight's possible, flush is possible. Chipping up slowly, back to the chip lead, but it's just the 1 or 2 big blind difference.
For those of you that have only just stumbled into the stream, 12 hours in,
妈的7、8、10勾圈，他1对3，我操！
a
我
roller
3次没
coaster of a day. Came back around, I think,
7、8、10勾圈
11
他没中，我操！
off the money.
一直 check， 我以为他中牌了。
Long bubble that eventually saw Viktor Kudanov go home empty-handed. Then there were a lot of bust-outs in quick fashion. Steve O'Dwyer, the first to depart. Henrik Hecklund, Stephen Chidwick, Chris Brewer, Mario Mosbach, Bryn Kenny. Just to name a few. Final table was as wild as the heads up as Đào Minh Phú jams over the top of the Ding limp and...
Wow. I mean, annoying because Jack 10 suited so much hand, but having to lay it down because of the massive jam. Unpredictable. Đào Minh Phú is working.
Just out there trying to do it for the local Vietnamese crew. First ever Triton series. Came in on the shorter side at the start of the final table. Managed to get a very early pickup against Linus, if you recall. I want to say hand number 2 of the FT. Opened ace-queen. Linus opted to 3-bet squeeze the ace-4 off. He called, came queen-jack-5. Jammed over the top of the Linus continue. And then it was just a lot of yo-yoing for the local player. It's a gridlock 9-handed. Greenwood eventually busting out in 9th. Then Linus running queens into ace-king. Couldn't hold against Dan Smith. Ben Heath's jacks, pocket jacks, sorry, not holding against Biao Ding's ace-queen. KCG bowing out in 6th. Patrick Antonius going home in 5th after nursing a sub 10 big blind stack for 4.5 hours. Laddering thousands and thousands in the process. Hundreds of thousands, I should say.
Action flop here. Đào Minh Phú picks up 5s and 4s. Biao Ding's got open-ended straight draw in a heads-up game. This is a monster hand. Lots of connection. Lots of potential to make plays. Hopefully scoop the pot. Coming for call. Looking for that 3 or 8. Give him a look. I'm gonna get you.
King of spades on the turn.
The type of card that I feel can improve both players in this heads up. I don't imagine king would fold to a flop bet. Check through rather quickly. Full house for Dao.
Yeah, and Ding with no showdown with the 7 high, but maybe gonna try and get the random stabs.
Yeah.
The 10 highs, jack highs, queen highs of the world to fold.
I would love to see him fire out a bet. There's a lot of high card hands. Well, he's going to give up, so I guess he just thinks that Đào Minh Phú has got a pair so often, and he's right. Would have costed him chips had he bet.
800,000.
Biao Ding is gonna lay this one down. Puts in the minimum. Got to see all 5 cards. Not a bad proposition. Pulling away slowly.
2个 K 还没见过呢。
Earlier, Đào Minh Phú was stacking 10 high stacks. Now I have no idea how tall those are. Do you have any idea, Henry?
I'm going to go with 27 chips
27
per
chips.
tower.
Okay.
Don't
Peculiar
ask me
number.
why. Yeah, you know.
It's just a number he grabbed and is all right. Let me just make them equal. 2 king highs. Last time there was a limp, Đào Minh Phú just jammed, ripped in king queen,
Yeah, he
and
does.
he does it again. King queen is the hand for him so far.
So the towers grow. See,
Confidently jamming.
yeah, looks like 4 towers now.
You're going with 27. I want you to start counting, Henry. I'm going over. I can count that one. It's a 20 stack.
That one's a 20 stack, yeah? Okay.
That, it's a 40 stack. Actually, it could be like a 50. It's a 50 stack.
A 40 stack would make sense. He's playing around 16.
Yeah, actually, that makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense.
10-8 offsuit on the dealer button. Action's been wild. Small blind. The dealer button has been limping a pretty wide range on both ends of the heads-up match. Take a flop.
Feels like it's going to take a major collision for these two to collide. Maybe, just maybe, the Jack 7-5 Randy as Ding has flopped top 2 and Đào Minh Phú has equity in the form of a gut shot. 8 of diamonds on the turn, giving the local Vietnamese player two pair, second pair.
Yeah, very nice card for Dao. Although it is going to get him in trouble, so quite unfortunate. Biao Ding recognizes 2 flush draws, multiple straight draws. Type of board you can get value from a lot of different hands, of different varieties. A minimum bet. Đào Minh Phú has grabbed a handful of chips, but still comes in for call. Cannot predict his chip grabbing game.
Trying to get a read on this guy, Randy?
I
Really?
can't.
12 hours in.
I can see his whole cards and it's still tough. 4-liner out there, flush got there, uncomfortable. Block bet is a play.
Just a dirty run out for Ding, similarly to the 10-9 earlier on.
Maybe set the price yourself. 600,000. Snappy. Biao Ding is gonna close the gap a little bit with that nice value bet.
Yeah, snap call from Dao. First real hand of significance going Ding's way. Maybe
妈的，顶 flop 顶两
some
对，给我发
frustration.
单张成顺，后门花，我操，这牌真的是。
see vents to his rail again. Believe I can translate that one for you, Randy. Flop top 2, went check check, and brought a 4-liner out on turn
1
and
毛
river.
钱没打住，就打了一丁丢。
What's going on? No need to
I was going to
fact check me on
translate
that
it
one there.
for you, but I guess no need. Well
No
done.
need, no need. Thank you.
Perfect.
Been hanging out in Asia long enough, pal.
No. Just any part of Asia and you just know all the different languages. Nice, Henry.
Thanks. Not just a pretty face.
8-5 suited. Playable. Lots of varieties of interesting flops that can drop down. King 10, though, is where I'm most interested in because Đào Minh Phú has jammed King Queens, and it is no surprise to me that he's jamming this King 10. And it's kind of making limping seem a little bit worrisome. He's gotten at least 3 jams in.
He has.
At least. Possibly 4 or 5. It's not a good feeling.
Maybe room for Ding to set up a trap should the opportunity present itself, given the willingness to jam over the button limps.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. If my opponent's willing to shove in all those chips, you need to give him the chance to do so. Limp has been standard so far. She's gonna lay it down.
Wow, that's incredibly tight. On the button, suited 9.
Yeah.
The big blind ante.
My guess is Đào Minh Phú normally doesn't play heads up. So it's kind of just going off his intuition and feel.
Well, it's worked for him so far.
Definitely. Like, so maybe him not calling there, maybe giving up some EV pre-flop, but certainly making up for it in post-flop with his different style, different choices in bet sizing that's confusing Biao Ding.
Local Vietnamese player came into this heads-up match. A 2-1 dog. Now holds the chip lead. And it's kind of been a one-way story so far throughout this heads-up.
Yeah, he's slowly grinding. Biao Ding is actually trying to outgrind Đào, but just failing right now. Gonna take a flop.
And yet again, the local player with the lead on the ace-9-4.
Biao Ding's got 10-3 offsuit. Very wide ranges. Start with a bet. Đào induces Biao Ding in pot controls. Here with mid-pair. Confirms he's still got it. Comfortable call. 2.5 million in the middle. King ball. Brings an overcard to the middling card, which is important in heads-up limp pots. Ranges are wide. Action on Đào. And he's moving his tower of chips over. And then checking. Not sure if that means anything, but something to note. Biao here, bet the flop. Got called. This king really does improve Đào's range. Probably a little bit more because those hands would check call him, but Biao Ding is reaching for more chips. And a lot of it Snap fold. Well done.
1.5.
Just sheer aggression. Like a bull in a china shop.
Like a what in a china shop?
A bull? You know what bull is, Randy?
The one with the 2 horns?
That's the one.
Okay. Interesting choice of animal for a china shop.
Well, I'll let you figure that one out, pal. As we get the quick dealer change. Blinds going up to 300,000, 600,000. It is tied. Doesn't get closer than that. Less than a big blind separating Đào Minh Phú and Biao Ding. 14 million for the local Vietnamese player, 13.8 million for Ding. Both guaranteed 7 figures. 1,135,000 locked up for both.
涨盲了还60万了。
1,670,000 will be going to the champion, as well as the Shambhala Jewels bracelet and the coveted Triton trophy. Both here for the first time at the Triton series.
Blinds up, and Đào has now brought in a raising game back into the mix. 2.5x. Ace queen. Biao Ding lays it down. Shows him. Shows him.
Shows him the goods.
Shows him the
A圈儿
goods. I wonder if
我他妈还有个球儿，我3圈
try
儿。
to play off of that on a future hand. Try to use that to his advantage or not.
Still going strong over on YouTube and Twitch. Do appreciate you guys keeping us engaged late into the early hours of the morning here. Late into the early hour? I'm losing the plot. 3 a.m. local time, 12 hours into the stream.
Đào has been jamming over these limps with these solid holdings like Ace X,
又亮了个 A 人
King,
家。
Big Kings,
Okay.
just not giving Biao Ding a chance to play post flop. And it's adding up.
我打到现在没见。我操！再涨一会儿，他妈的再不来牌，他妈的洗死了呗他。他妈一limp他就给推了。没牌，他妈的。
Ace Queen offsuit. Last time he opened 2.5x to 1.5 million. Let's see if he does the same. He showed it too. Grabs a bunch of chips. Downsized a little bit to 1.4 million. King 4. Now, you must remember that Biao Ding got shown Ace Queen when he made it 1.5, so it might be crossing his mind on how to react with King 4 offsuit. Looks like he's going to take a flop here.
Every pot just feels like it could be it, regardless.
Just from
of
pre-flop, you're
yeah,
just like,
you know, these guys have just been swinging for the fences, both pre and post. Ding, flopping top pair. Đào Minh Phú with the over to the king 10-9 and inside Broadway straight.
he's cutting out some chips, but doesn't mean that he's going to bet. It's got mixed signals from him. Touches the chips and checks. king on the turn. Biao Ding. Trip kings feeling good. Maybe we start getting value from 10x, 9x at check back flop. I think that's very possible. Perhaps a value bet also against inside straight draws. Queen X, Jack X. That many chips.
Bet 800,000.
Yeah, given that the flop went check, check. Opting to size down. 25% pot. Thereabouts.
Ace Queen in an interesting spot. Does
Whoa.
have... Did
he just move all in?
He raised. Not all in,
Okay.
but he raised. Just north of a mini raise.
Yeah, kind of clicking it back, I
Oh.
guess.
Yeah, a little clicky.
Just to
Set the price.
maybe buy himself a river. A showdown, I should say. Setting the price here, knowing that he's going to check back on any non-jack river.
His raise here, it's supposed to be a sign of strength, so Biao Ding might be cautious here. Especially with a kicker that doesn't play. Action on Biao Ding with these unorthodox line. It went check, check on the flop. It was raised pre-flop. Turn. Lead. Small raise. Now here we are. Bit confused on what to do for Biao Ding. Find a call.
.8 out there. Tournament defining river potentially coming up. Deuce of hearts does complete the front door flush. Down without a heart in hand. Can't just bluff it off with reckless abandon, though. I say that and realize that that hasn't stopped either player from doing so before.
Yeah, but it feels like the ace queen does have some showdown value still. Not a lot, but just enough to go for a check.
狗逼，
Regains
狗
the
逼
chip
合计
lead.
没推呀，他咋？十也得跟呀。
Got to tip my hat to both these players, by the way. 12 hours on the clock,
啊，
still ticking. 500,000 between first and
不如
second.
转牌给他再弄一下。
Every spot so crucial.
Yeah, no time to slow down now. I mean, so much is on the line.
Oh,
Ace
wow.
Jack and Ace 8.
This could be it, Randy.
These are hands worthy of all the chips. The way Đào Minh Phú's been playing, he's been wanting to fast plays as fast as possible. And you got to remember, Biao Ding has folded to the jams at least 4 times pre-flop already. And he's laying the trap here of Ace 8. All in.
Count.
Snap call. Oh, count. Sorry. I don't really see how he can get away from this. He's seen him
I
jam
don't either.
multiple times.
He's limped 4 or 5 buttons now that it's been jammed on this time.
Finally has a hand playable to play back. And Ace 8. What if your opponent is just jamming Ace Deuce, Ace 3, Ace 4, and he has jammed Ace Deuce offsuit already in this spot? Makes
Does
the call.
make the call. Premature celebration from Đào Minh Phú, who is the all-in player at risk, but holds 70% of the equity with 24.8 million in the middle. And if he holds, Randy's going to have Ding
这个逼咋这么
down
多
to
牌
just
呢？
5
没
big
令不
blinds.
我好不容易弄这个 A，
5
发俩
cards to
bug.
come. Is it just destiny They're one of the few local Vietnamese
黑
players
头，
to join us here for the Triton Super High Roller Series in Vietnam.
黑
Going
头
to
60
keep。one of the trophies in Vietnam. 2 to come. Queen of clubs leaves Ding drawing to 3 outs once.
จับมัด
Needs to find an 8 to win the trophy. Not going to happen on the queen-queen run out. And Đào Minh Phú with 9 fingers on the coveted Triton trophy. And the 1,670,000 for first.
我就拿了这一把 A， 他妈逼 A 8也不小了，
Celebration
我还 cover
for
他。
Đào Minh Phú. His rail's happy. Biao Ding sunk into his chair. No way he can get away from that.
No, and that pot there, a byproduct of the hands prior, Randy. Him jamming the king 10, the 8-4, the king queen versus the limp. Ding setting the trap with the ace 8, calling for 20 bigs, and just running in to the top of Đào Minh Phú's jamming range, and that's how things stand. Chip counts brought to you by Poker Stake. Biao Ding down to just 5 bigs now. 8-1 chip deficit. Đào Minh Phú came in with just 20 bigs, if I'm not mistaken, into this heads-up match. 2-1 dog. Can now taste victory. Hometown hero from Hanoi. Regular at the VSOP, guaranteed 1,135,000, and if he can just win an additional 5 big blinds off Ding, gets to take home the trophy and the top prize of 1,670,000. Massive shout out, as always, to the viewers, production crew, the players that have been with us all day today, these two for battling out and putting on just an amazing show. This final table has been incredibly entertaining and one that's going to be watched back by many.
Some doubt deuce 4 suited. He's put a big blind and a big blind ante in already. He might feel a little committed. That's 2 of the 5 big blinds. 40% of his stack in there blind. He actually has 37%. Not the best, but not the worst.
没有弃牌率了已经。
Does decide that there's just too much out there to pass up on. 2 live cards, spades, working for Biao Ding, 37% equity. Still fighting the dog.
Blank.
Jack 10-5, 2 hearts, backdoor spades. Potential for Ding, but not much hope. So it goes down to 27% as the 3 of hearts now presents an open-ender, but does also give
他妈的给他发了个
Đào
红
Minh
头。
Phú a flush draw.
滑通的，滑通哥的，点灯滑通哥的。
Ace 6-4 deuce, non-heart needed for Ding. And the fight goes on, Randy. 4 of clubs,
夜是啥呀？给我
giving
夜是
Ding a
呢。
pair of 4s on the river. Doubles up to 9 bigs.
Yeah, 9 bigs
不是
definitely
我这个
worthy.
逼他妈居然是 A 勾，
Play
我
with.
操！我真是他妈醉了。
See, Biao Ding is discussing with his rail.
How
Look
much?
how many chips that Đào Minh Phú's got.
What do you think he said to his rail?
2 million.
I mean, he's just talking about what's been dealt. How unfortunate that previous hand was and how he just doubled.
Do you think he's saying, I'm about to pull off a Phil Galfond v Veni Vidi against this guy?
滑
I'm about to pull off a Liverpool v AC Milan on this guy.
No, I don't think he said any of those things. He said, why did I have to lose ace-8 to ace-jack for most of my chips?
I'll tell you what he said. I'm going to be like MJ back in 95. The comeback. Biao Ding. 9 bigs. A mountain to climb. If he is to emerge victorious here in event number 6.
King 10 suit, no, King 10 offsuit. Not money blind, so likely we'll be ripping this in, trying to pick up what's in the middle. Could get called by worse sometimes, but I don't know about Queen 5 suited. Gonna pass. Let's see if Đào Minh Phú can close this one out. Has won the majority of the pots in heads up.
Yeah, it feels like it's been a very one-sided affair in these sizable pots that have been played. Sadly has the biggest entourage, by the way. Whole crew here with him as he open jams. King Jack on the button, Queen Deuce, not going to cut it for Ding.
Ace-10 versus King-Queen. This is going in.
This is insane that we have these two hands. Heads up. Ding limping in on the button and snap calling the jam of Đào Minh Phú. And yet again, just running in to the brick wall that is Đào Minh Phú.
发个90勾行不？
King in the window.
别发黑桃。
Don't you dare call it a comeback just yet. After the runouts we've had today.
我操！
3 of spades on the turn. As Dao goes from 3 to 10 outs.
红10。
With 1 to come to seal it for the local player.
Hits it.
Running spades. What a way to win it. The local Vietnamese player coming out victorious in event number 6, Biao Ding. Coming in as chip leader to this final table, but coming up short to the local hero, Đào Minh Phú, taking down the 50k 8 max in event number 6 for 1,670,000. Commiserations, obviously, to Biao Ding. Going to be heading home with 1,135,000 for his efforts, but maybe going to feel somewhat slighted by the deck and the poker gods there after coming into the heads up with a 2-1 lead and just never really managed to get anything going against the local Vietnamese player. Đào Minh Phú just outmaneuvering him, Randy, at every turn.
Yeah, and you know, Biao Ding played an excellent final table, all the way up to heads up, was picking up chips that no one else was getting. But heads up, it really was all Đào Minh Phú who'd had a very...
And again, the banner hanging here inside our arena on the Triton Super High Roller Series rings true, where high-stakes dreams are dealt. And for Đào Minh Phú, the local from here in Vietnam, that is absolutely the case. The champion here in event 6, the 50K, $1.67 million richer, coming off of a 14th place finish. And Đào, how do you feel?
I just know poker 3 years ago, and this is the first time I play the big tournament as Triton. So I'm very happy, very happy.
Well, we noticed that you had a VSOP patch on earlier, and obviously so many locals have been supporting you here. How is poker in Vietnam?
I think the player Vietnam is very good. So their bankroll is very weak. That's why they haven't lost a player Vietnam play this Triton tournament.
Well, listen, I know that this is a very big moment for you. My Vietnamese is not that good, but I know enough to say chúc mừng to you.
Cảm ơn, thank you. Thank you.
And on that note, I'd like to welcome Luca Vivaldi here to present you with your very own Triton title and Shambhala bracelet. Hold it with pride, Đào.
Yeah.
You're champion in event 6, Đào Minh Phú.
Thank you so much.